The crying harem member body count increases as we get into episode 9 of Spirit Chronicles. These are my thoughts on the episode, so let's jump right into it. Yeah, open up this episode. Yeah, Rio does end up mentioning to Rudy basically his lineage and the fact that, yeah, her cousin is technically a prince. And of course, he tries to start speaking to him as if he's some sort of prince, but he's like, no. Let's stay casual. Don't do any of that, please. Don't do any of that. So they agree to kind of be on first name terms, and this obviously throws off the entire village because they start noticing how casually they speak to each other really quickly. But he also mentions to Rudy at this time, and technically to his grandmother, that he plans around a year from now, he plans on leaving the village, which we all knew. He stays there for about 2 years, then he leaves and cries, makes people cry. That's his journey. Which they kind of are like, that really sucks, but you'll come back, right, eventually? And yeah, he's like, yeah, I'll eventually. And this news doesn't really go so well with somebody else, as later on you'll kind of notice that over that year span, he's technically trying to help the village. He helps them build a water well or water wheel, helps them with the crops and all that kind of stuff, helps train them in certain things. And eventually, yeah, he does end up bumping into Sayu and mentions the idea that he needs her to kind of learn this whole process because he's planning on leaving. She's like, wait, you're leaving? And he's like, yeah, I'm planning on leaving after this festival. And this is obviously very saddening to her because, yes, she does like him. So later on, eventually, during this entire festival, Goki and his family show up to the festival and they're having a lot of fun. And then eventually Sayo invites him off to the side when she tells him that she does love him and that she hopes that he doesn't leave. And then he's like, I'm sorry, I can't return your love. And she's like, well, okay, if you're going to leave, let me come with you. Because you kind of see this little montage where she's trying to train herself from between that time that he told her that till now. She's been training herself so that she can journey with him and not be a burden to him. So she's like, I've been training day in, day out just so I can journey with you and not be a burden. She's like, no, I'm sorry. I can't return your feelings. And then he steps away. And obviously this is saddening to her, and her brother's there to, kind of see it unfold and kind of consoles her. And it was kind of sad because at some point when she did first find out that he was leaving, her brother obviously knew that she was distraught, and he tries to confront Rio about it and beg him to stay, but obviously that didn't really do anything. But something kind of interesting happens between this scene where he rejects her and when he goes to leave. He tries to sneak out in the middle of the night, or he sneaks out really early in the morning, mainly to kind of because he's got a long journey and he wants to leave early, but also because he's already said his goodbyes to everybody. But it shows us a brief little clip of right after he rejected her and her brother ran up, that Goki confronted her and said, do you really love him? She's like, yeah, I do. Would you be willing to leave everything behind for that love? And she kind of pauses and he's like, well, if you're not, then forget it. And she's like, no, I love him. It doesn't say what he says after this. It doesn't mention what happens after this, because it was kind of a little bit disconcerting because it shows this scene where he's like, are you willing to sacrifice everything for it? And then it shows her confront him as he's leaving the town, because for some reason, if he flies out of town or flies to his destination, for some reason he has to walk out the front gates of the village before he can fly off. But he goes to the front gate before he flies off, and that's where he sees Sayo. And I'm like, okay, what is she going to do to him? Because it just showed us that this guy's going to tell her something, and she's saying goodbye, like, take care and everything. Is she going to, put some kind of shackle on him that forces him to have to keep her with them, or what? But I was thinking maybe the collar that Lafita had or something like that, or Latifa. But no, he's like, take care, and he's like, okay, thank you, and goes to leave, and you can see the brother. Everybody online for some reason thinks the brother was waving at him from in the forest. No, he's seen what unfolded. Rio went to leave, and he did the whole kind of thing, like, scratching his head like, crap, this is happening. He wasn't waving. As funny as that would be, that he would wave and Rio would ignore him from some random direction in the forest. But anyways, so yeah, he goes and leaves. My theories on this part right here of what that he would have told Sayo would probably be that because he's mentioning the idea that, are you willing to leave everything behind? So obviously, are you willing to leave your village? And if she didn't say anything when he went to leave, then obviously it's something for later. I think what happened is that Goki told her where he's planning on going. Because Goki was in the meeting with the king and queen when he told them that he's planning on going back to his hometown or the slums. And so he could have told her, well, go to here. It's going to be an extremely long travel for her, so I hope they don't just have her show up there and be like, yeah, I've been here the whole time waiting for you. Because for her to travel that distance is extremely long journey versus him traveling by, flying. So, yeah, unless they have some kind of other means of transportation that he can help her with. But it seems like Goki's going to help her possibly get back to where Ryo is going. So, but yeah, following this, he does go back to the demi-human village where he, runs into Latifa and all their friends, ends up meeting with the elders again and lets them know his entire journey and everything he's been through. Eventually, he kind of mentions the idea that he's looking for a way of building a house that he can put inside of his space-time cache. So the dwarf apparently is going to work on that for him. And then he goes and spends some time with all the cute girls in his little harem house and sits there and flirts with each one of them. Again, I think I said this last time and I'll say it again. I'm really hating Ryo. He is probably the most frustrating harem character. I joke all the time where his whole shtick is go to a town, meet a bunch of girls, swoon them, and then leave them crying as he leaves. Find another village, find a bunch of harem, swoon them until they cry as he leaves the village. But it's to a point now where it's infuriating. He is the biggest jerk player. He is literally a player. I get this aspect that this is a harem show and the idea is to get a big harem and the people that are watching go, oh, cute harem. But it's to a point now where it's kind of disgusting. It's not fun. The moment I seen him start essentially flirting with all these girls in this house, he's basically playing with their hearts. He's the most cruelest person I have literally ever seen in the harem. Usually with harems, they fool with their hearts, but he stays with them. This guy literally comes in, basically butters them up, and then walks away and cries, and he goes, wonder why they were in love with me. That's the same thing with Sayu. I wonder why she confessed her love to me. I can't return her love. Well, then don't make it a thing. If you can't return their love, don't swoon them and play with their hearts and then walk away. Granted, Sayu fell in love with him. Well, he gave her the gift. You give a girl a gift, she's going to fall in love with you. If you're spending that much time with them and you're walking around eating food together and then you get them a gift, don't be surprised when they say they love you. He's literally the biggest jerk harem guy ever, I swear. But anyways, after flirting with all these girls who he's obviously going to leave crying in probably one more episode, he eventually retires for the night and wakes up with some pink-haired girl next to him, which is obviously the girl that's been kind of the spirit thing that's been with him this entire time. I kind of theorize would probably be the rebirth of one of these great goddesses, not great spirits that Dryas had spoken about, which I'm guessing is going to be a reincarnation of the girl that he loved in the previous world. So now he's got his girlfriend from the previous world is now reincarnated as a great spirit that is now naked in his bed. And of course, all the girls walk in the door and find him with her. And yeah, that's happening. And it's not just she's just there. She's kind of very clingy already. So she's he gets up and she gets up with him and cuddles against him. So yeah, that'll be interesting. Wow, I vented a lot in this episode. I'm enjoying the show. I'm fine with it. All the girls are cute, but dang, if I'm getting frustrated with how he treats his harem, it's just very infuriating that he's like a player that doesn't actually, sleep with them or do anything. It's dang, dude, I think he has a crying girl fetish. That's what it is. I think Ryo has a crying girl fetish. He just goes to villages, butters up girls, and then just walks away and goes, oh, yes, I gotta cry. And oh, that was good. Sweet stuff. It's kind of creepy at that point. But anyways, that's my thoughts on Spirit Chronicles episode 9. Hope you guys enjoyed my video. If you did, leave a like down below. Comment. Let me know what you thought of the episode. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video if you can. Support us on Patreon if you can. And y'all take care.